Hello and welcome back to Bermuda. It's Thursday, just 2 days to go before the racing starts. Well, things are ramping up a little bit here today because today is the first day of practicing for the teams, and you can see here Ben Ainslie Racing are putting their wing in their boat. Now you might think that, so what, another day's practicing? That's what these guys do. Well, it isn't, because in the America's Cup World Series you're only allowed to sail the boat for 2 days before the event. Outside that you can't do it. So for a lot of teams this is the only training they get. And today, with the breeze being up, there's plenty of nerves around, including mine, because I'm on the back today. Oh well. Now, wear those loos. Right, so well, we've had the safety briefing. Guess we're going to be ready to go. And before you ask, I'm sweating because it's hot in that container. No, really, it is. Well, that was absolutely incredible. For once, I'm almost stuck for words. Almost. What a sensation. I've sailed the AC45s quite a lot before they went on to foils, and I've sailed quite a lot of foiling boats, including the GC32 and some of the smaller ones. but I tell you what, that is on another level altogether. It's incredible. And those are the crude boats by comparison to what they're up to with their development boats, the turbos and the likes. But unbelievable. It looks spectacular from the outside, but on board, the noise and the speed and the sensation and the fact that all the crew have to shout as if it's an absolute dire emergency. It's just absolutely breathtaking. I'm now going to go off for some therapy, calm down, and try and write something. See you later. That was incredible. I think there's one question in particular I want to ask you. At what point does that kind of sailing feel normal?
Well, it's starting to feel a bit more normal now, you know, but yeah, that's kind of what we've done now for the last 3 years, so it's kind of starting to feel normal. I think going back to the monohulls, just pointing really high and going kind of slow will feel a bit alien now.
It's just full on. That's what really struck me. I mean, I've watched you guys out sailing and practicing, and obviously I've watched the AC World Series racing, and that's spectacular enough, but on board the boat, the sensation is just completely different. I mean, it's a big boat, isn't it, to handle with just 5 crew?
Yeah, it is. There's plenty of jobs for not many people, basically. And also when you put it on a race course with 5 other boats, it gets even more intense because the courses aren't very big, and you know, you've got a few ducks and people to avoid, and yeah, the intensity goes up a level.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, what's the most nerve-wracking bit for you guys as the crew? Is it still the bear away at the top mark, or? Yeah,
the bear away is kind of the most nerve-wracking in these boats, especially because the rudders are fairly short. If you lose the windward rudder as you're going into the bear away, you often bury the nose on the leeward side. So you have to push, otherwise you don't get the slingshot around the outside. So there's always a bit of a trade-off there, whether you push really hard and make sure you get deep out the jibe, or whether you play it a bit more safe. And you know, that was kind of the perfect wind, and nice and flat, that you can push pretty hard. So.
What kind of wind speed do you think we got? It looked like 16, 18 knots.
Yeah, so we were all on the J2, as were most people at the beginning of the day, and then most people changed to the J3. So yeah, it's probably 16.
Right.
No more than that.
Really? Is that right? It certainly felt like a lot more than that at times. And what kind of top speeds do you think we were hitting?
We would be in just low 30s probably, maximum speeds. But
just low 30s, he said.
Yeah, I think like we're sailing downwind in high 20s. Then obviously, especially with the race with you, we were overlaid at the leeward mark, so then you ease all the twists and come in smoking fast. So that's when you get the super high speeds. Yeah, we
were certainly smoking fast. The thing that struck me was actually when it's up on the fours and in a straight line, and when we're not trying to avoid someone else, yeah, actually feels pretty stable. It feels surprisingly balanced.
Yeah, when you're pushing for depth on the downwind, because you've closed the wing out and all the centre of effort goes up, it's actually quite stable. It's when you're opening twist or overlaying and you've got to move a lot of rake and move a lot of wing sheet to keep the boat flat. That's when it feels fast and feels unstable.
The other thing that struck me was at the leeward mark. It looks like people are much smoother coming through the leeward mark now. I mean, they're coming around with stacks of power, and it looks like the whole fleet's moved its game up a bit. Yeah,
there's a little bit of that, but also because it's so flat, it makes it a lot easier. Like in Portsmouth, we saw similar kind of, well, probably a bit more breeze in practice, and it's just get round it, and get round it and get back onto the breeze, because the waves are slowing you down so much. But when it is that flat, you can just slingshot around the outside, and in a perfect world you'd have the pedestal so you can really whip the wing in. But yeah, we're slowing down slightly because we can't get the main in quick enough, but yeah, you get a real speed boost at that mark, and then you can build and use that speed in height when you go round. So.
Well, it's spectacular. I came off the water speechless. I'm less so now. Yeah. I'm ready for another go.
Okay, no worries. We'll see you tomorrow. I don't think there'll be any wind, but we'll have a go.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, CJ.
No worries. Cheers.